Përshëndetje. In this video, we are going to learn about the usage of definite and indefinite. In Albanian, this is a big deal because all nouns will be either definite or indefinite depending on how we are using them in a sentence and the word before them and such. So, to begin with, we're going to learn when to use the definite and when to use the indefinite. As you can see here, when we have nga, it should be followed by a definite noun, whereas when we have n, it should be followed by an indefinite noun. Another rule is that if the noun is the subject of the sentence, then we use a definite. But if the noun is the object in a sentence, then we use the indefinite. So these are when we should use definite or indefinite. But how to form that? Let's see the 5 commandments of definite and indefinite. So, if a noun ends in a, we are going to change the a into an a. If the noun ends in a stressed I, we add a. If the noun ends in a stressed vowel except I, we add ya. If a noun ends in a consonant, we add I. And if a noun ends in k, g, or H, we add U. Do they seem confusing? I don't know what to say, but I know that it's just 5 sentences, and if you just think about learning 5 sentences by heart, it will be much easier than thinking, oh, I should learn these grammar rules. But don't worry, we are going to dwell into each of them individually, and we are going to see examples on how to use each one of them. So, let's start with the first rule. If a noun ends in E with 2 dots, we change the E with 2 dots into A. And we have the example. Un jam në Tiranë, Eltoni është nga Tirana. So, we have në Tiranë, nga Tirana. Un jam në punë, un po vi nga puna. Në punë, nga puna. So this is for the first rule. If it's followed by n, we should use the indefinite. But if it's followed by nga, we should use the definite form. And then the last 2 sentences, un kam një makinë, makina është e re. Because in the first sentence, un kam një makinë, the subject is un, I have a car. In the second sentence, the subject is makina është e re. So, një makinë, makina. Is this clear? Now, let's move to the next one. The next rule says that if a noun ends in a stressed I, we should add a. So, jam në Shqipëri, I am in Albania. Jam nga Shqipëria, I am from Albania. And then I decided to take a very much Albanian example. Un pi raki, rakia është shumë e mirë. So, n followed by indefinite, nga followed by definite. If it's the subject rakia, then it's going to be definite. If it's object in a sentence, then raki. Then, if the noun ends in a stressed vowel, except I, we should add ja. Johnny jeton në Kanada, indefinite. Kanadaja është e bukur. Kanadaja, definite. Because this is the subject. How would you say John is from Canada? Write that down in the comments below. And then we have 2 more examples. Dua një macchiato. And then the subject, macchiato, would be macchiatoja është e fortë. These 3 rules sum up the feminine nouns. And then we have 2 rules about the masculine nouns. So, masculine nouns generally will end in consonant. If the noun ends in a consonant, we simply will add I. Stefi është në Brazil. Brazili është I mahnitshëm. So, Brazil ends in a consonant and we are simply adding an I there. Kam një telefon, telefoni është I vjetër. But then there is an exception. If a noun ends in a K, G, or H, then we add U. For example, we're taking Strasbourg, which ends in a G, Erinda është në Strasburg. Strasburgu është shumë I bukur. How do you say Erinda is from Strasbourg? Write it down in the comments and I'll let you know if you got it right or wrong. And then the next two sentences. Kam një mik, I have a friend. The word for friend in Albanian would be shok, but mik, it's like a close friend, closer than just a regular friend. And then we have miku I mirë të bëhet vëlla në ditë të vështirë, which is a proverb. The good friend becomes like a brother in the hard days. So, let me know, how do you find these 5 rules? Hard or easy? Do they make sense or do they not make sense? Write down in the comments below all the questions you have and the sentences you had to make, and we will catch up in the next video.